What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little different. I want this to be more of a conversation and I want y'all to sound off below in the comments. And this is going to be about Aaliyah and Jay-Z's friendship and how I feel like people have really blown it out of proportion over the last 20 years, 20 plus years, and this whole love triangle and whole gossip and scandal of it all. And it's just like, you really think about it, it doesn't make sense to still be discussing this, but I seen it on Twitter, Instagram, and even in my own comment sections. Over the last 3 years, I've been doing these Aaliyah videos. People will still bring up Jay-Z and bring up this love triangle or bring up, oh, how he hit it first. Or, oh, Aaliyah was a passing around, and all these different accusations and labels they want to give Aaliyah because of gossip, because of some pictures. And it's time we discuss it, because every time someone leaves a comment like that about, oh, Jay-Z hit it first, I'm like, okay, where's the proof? Where's the evidence besides those pictures? And when they send me a link or they send me an article or they send me something trying to prove how Jay-Z hit it first, I'm like,
Zero. Why all of these trash? Zero.
really? That's the evidence? The same old pics, the same old gossip. But before we even get into that, how about we discuss some positive things about Aaliyah, some fun facts about Aaliyah, like how she graduated with a 4.0 GPA, 2 multi-platinum albums, nominated for 5 Grammys, booked until 2008 to act in 10 movies, all these different things that Aaliyah accomplished in her career. But people always want to reduce it to the scandal from the first album, the scandal with Jay-Z, the scandal with Dame Dash, and all these other things. It's just like, Aaliyah was more than that. There's more to talk about with Aaliyah than that. Let's talk about how she's in the running and she's really close to being nominated to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's talk about that. That's an amazing accomplishment. You know, they did Biggie, they did Tupac, they did Whitney Houston. Aaliyah could be potentially next. And I'm gonna leave the link to the petition down below so you can sign it if you're interested in seeing Aaliyah get this amazing honor. Let's talk about things like that instead of the scandal from over 20 years ago. Okay, let's get to the root of it all. Jay-Z did know Aaliyah first. She was friendly with Jay-Z. And at that one particular all-white P. Diddy 4th of July party in the Hamptons, those famous pictures that always float around every other week, every other month, where it goes viral and people start discussing Aaliyah and Jay-Z and Damon Dash being in a love triangle, that's when she really met Damon Dash. Jay-Z was trying to pursue her, but she friend-zoned him and she decided to go with Damon Dash, go public with him in her own way. Now, there's probably more to the story. As people say, we don't know what went on behind closed doors, and we probably never will. But why do people jump to the most extreme conclusions?
Oh my God.
It's like I've seen people look at certain innocent pictures of Aaliyah hugging one of her co-workers or hugging somebody she did a movie with or a song with or a music video with that just happens to be a man in the industry, and it's like, she was with him too? Oh my gosh, she was a pass around. Y'all think Aaliyah was innocent? Believe it or not, I've seen people say this with Aaliyah and Jet Li. I've seen people say it with Aaliyah and DMX, even though in most cases in that music video, Come Back in One Piece, DMX's wife was on that set. Aaliyah just had this thing where she had charisma, she had chemistry with most of her co-stars. She just had this positive, natural energy that made people want to be around her. She knew how to work the camera. She knew how to work the camera with other people, and it just came across on film. So it's just like, for people to take certain things in images and make it like, oh my God, she was with everybody in the industry, it's really demeaning. Because you want to know something? And I said this before, the only thing passed around about Aaliyah was all of her albums that went multi-platinum. Aaliyah just had this genuine mystique about her. And like I said all the time, when you're not an open book, especially in the industry, in the celebrity life, you're not an open book like so many are today through social media. People will write the pages for you. People will make their own narratives about you. And throughout time, they become popular belief. And let's talk about how there's just this general idea that men and women can't just simply be friends. Like, men and women can't just have platonic relationships. It has to be some type of, creeping and freaking on the low. It might start off as a friendship, but it has to grow into something stronger. And it's like, and I know for all of y'all out here listening, y'all know y'all have been in situations where you might have friend zoned somebody might have friend zoned you, or you may have had feelings for someone, but you never acted upon it, or it just didn't work out the way you wanted to, and y'all each moved on to different people. Okay, right? I'm sure some of you can relate, right? But when it comes to Aaliyah and this whole situation, it's like some people just lose common sense and common thought, and it's like, oh no, she was with him too, and she was with him too. Oh, y'all think she was innocent? Oh no. I've seen people call Aaliyah fans delusional delusional and say, oh, y'all fell for that innocent act. And like I said before, we don't know what happened behind these closed doors. We don't know what happened behind the curtains. There's always more to the story than what the public knows. But just because you take pictures together, just because you dance at a party together, that doesn't mean you went home together, if you know what I mean. If it was anything that Jay-Z hit, it was his fist against the wall when Aaliyah friend-zoned him and chose Dame and Dash. Of it all, when you really think about it, what is knowing the relationship status of an artist or entertainer or someone in the industry, what does that really do for you? Of course, we all know it's great gossip, it's great entertainment. As for some reason, it's entertainment. People love talking about it. It goes viral, it's trending, it's a big thing. When you really think about it, what does that do for the public? You learn information, you learn who's dating who broke up with who. What does that really accomplish for you? Now, personally, for me, and I know a lot of y'all listening gonna relate to this, an artist I support, an artist I'm a fan of, I'm thinking about, okay, what's their next single? When is the next album gonna come out? What's the next music video? Okay, if they're in my area, are they gonna do a tour, or are they coming to concert soon? Or okay, the award shows are coming up. Are they nominated? Are they going to do a performance? Those are the type of things I'm worried about with my favorite artists or artists that I support or an artist that I'm getting a liking to. Worried about who they're dating, who they broke up with, who they cheated on, who cheated on them. What benefit am I gaining from that? Stop, drop, and think about it. What benefit does the public gain from knowing about the relationship status of any celebrity? Absolutely nothing. You know, Aaliyah would discuss some dating experiences she had, but it was when she felt like it. For example, in a magazine clipping, she said, once I went on a date with this guy and we went out to dinner. The guy kept trying to impress me by ordering all of these really exotic dishes and the food was really bad, but I had to like totally grin and bear it. I think that was the worst dating experience I've ever had. You know, Aaliyah, when she felt like it, when she wanted to, when she wasn't pressured to, she would talk about certain things here and there. She wouldn't say who, but other than that, she wanted to keep a sense of privacy where she had every right to do so.
You have a new album coming out, you're working on more movies. Does that leave any time for like boyfriends in your life?
Well, it's a lot. It's a lot of work, but you can make time for everything.
So you
So
wait.
I'm gonna leave it.
So
at
you have
that.
a boyfriend in your life?
It's personal life. That's
personal?
the personal life.
No.
I don't really
After her tragedy, Jay-Z would attend Aaliyah's funeral, and even after Aaliyah's death in 2003, he would release his own remix to her popular posthumous hit, Miss You, which from my memory got sometimes just as much radio play as the original song. And as we all know, eventually Jay-Z moved on.
Y'all know when the flow is loco.
But this is where we're going to take a left turn, because this is where it gets conspiracy crazy. Because out there to this day, another form of comments I always get is people out there still believing that Jay-Z and Beyonce as a power couple has something to do with Aaliyah's accident and orchestrating it. Like Jay-Z did it out of revenge for Aaliyah friend-zoning him, and Beyonce did it to knock out her biggest competition so she could be number one, because you know Aaliyah was getting bigger and bigger. But to me, that never made sense. They were nowhere involved with the production of Rock the Boat, the song, or the video, nor the flight arrangements, and had no reason to be. Also, as we all know, in 2001, Beyonce was still in Destiny's Child as a lead singer with major success. She didn't even go solo until 2003, and if you think about who was her biggest competition at that time, her solo competition as a female artist, Ashanti. 2002 was the year of Ashanti. Let's be for real. Not only for her solo hits, but her features with Ja Rule, Fat Joe. She owned that year. Not to mention, when Beyonce finally released her debut album, there's that infamous New York Times article that came out saying, the solo Beyonce, she's no Ashanti, in which the critic favored Ashanti as the better solo artist. And as we all know, many things changed as time went on, but that just goes to show you, in that era, Ashanti was Beyonce's biggest competition.
You think you know, you have no idea.
Because also, the week after Beyonce debuted at #1 with that first album, Ashanti's second album came out that next week, claiming the top spot, knocking Beyonce to #2. So with all of that being said, if Beyonce really wanted to quote unquote get rid of her competition, why not Ashanti, who was obviously her main solo competition when it came to being a solo female artist at that time? And then let's get into how Ashanti dated Nelly for a while, which was highly publicized. And remember how Nelly originally had a crush on Beyonce?
I got a question.
What that is?
How you keep your arms so tight?
You know, it come like the abs. I just work on it, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you got all the ladies. Say your name, say your name.
All right. I hope you can say it.
You can see it in that clip, and Nelly also mentioned it in many interviews around that time. But Beyonce never really reciprocated those same feelings. Time went on, and he eventually ended up with Ashanti, and on a rare occasion, they were both pictured with Beyonce and her father joking and hanging out at the 2007 VMAs. This was also after Beyonce's B-Day album, which was another huge success for her, while Ashanti's dealing with Murder Inc. and Irv Gotti hindered her career with all of the lawsuits going on with the label at that time, which hindered her career from flourishing like it did in 2002 and 2003. Not to say that they were the best of friends, but Beyonce at this status, years later, still associated with one of her biggest competitors and the first popular rapper to really pursue her. What need would she and Jay-Z have had in 2001 to orchestrate a plan to get rid of Aaliyah?
Could somebody please make it make sense?
Of course, Aaliyah was getting bigger and bigger, but that was not going to affect Beyonce's success. Because not only did Beyonce have the talent, she had the connections to all of the giants in the music industry at the time. So she was always going to be at the top in one way or another. Bringing it back to protecting your personal life and privacy as a celebrity. Remember when Beyonce was standing there like a mannequin while Solange was doing Bruce Lee moves on Jay-Z in that elevator? $1 billion on the elevator, it's $1 billion on the elevator. Y'all remember that? Yeah. The media blew that up for months, and that was all people could talk about, even overshadowing Beyonce's single, which she released a few weeks after that, Pretty Hurts. People become so fascinated and absorbed with an artist's personal life that it can get more attention than their actual music. This is most likely what Aaliyah tried to avoid, which is why she always played coy in interviews when asked about her relationships. And people wonder, regardless of what I or other people think of Beyonce, she was definitely right in that regard. We can acknowledge that personal drama really can help or hurt how much an artist will sell, especially as social media has become more prominent. With everything Aaliyah went through, she really had to draw a fine line between discussing her personal relationships and her entertainment career. Although Aaliyah had an innocent nature to her, she liked to date, party, and have fun, just like any other young woman might at one point in their life. And she shouldn't be judged because of that. Aaliyah essentially lost her life working to give the public visuals for her music she cares so much about. And I think it's really unfair to reduce her legacy to relationship, scandal, gossip, and drama from over 20 years ago. Please, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll see y'all in the next video.
It is hard when you're in this business. You become a public figure.
It.
You know what I mean? And everything you do belongs to the public, and that's fine. But there's parts that you want to keep for you. You know what I mean? So
that's
keep
good
that
for you that you're doing
They
that.
got me
That's
asking
dope.
the hard questions.
There's no doubt. Gotta
People
ask.
want to know though.
And she don't want them to know, so that's how it's going down.
Fans is missing you. Damn, we missing you.